What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and welcome to another video on the channel where today we're going to be doing the El Clasico preview. The first part of it, of course, we will need some help. We need the Real Madrid fan perspective, and I have with me, yet again, Football Carnage. You want to say what's up to the people?
Yeah, big up, bro, for having me on. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and holla Madrid. Come on.
Always, no worries to have you on. Of course, we have a big game ahead. Title on the line, the last title of the season for both of us. Before we get into it, I think we should just discuss very quickly on the Copa del Rey final. I know it was 2 weeks ago. As of course the last Clasico as well, so it's good perspective for this game. We of course did a preview on the channel, so give me your thoughts on the game. Of course, it was a very tight game, which in the end Barcelona did have to nick in extra time. But what are your thoughts overall on lineup, in-game management, Ancelotti, how much it approached it, and then the kind of feeling after the game?
Yeah, I think in-game management, I think Carlo actually did a pretty good job. The only complaint that I do have with the starting 11 was that Mendy was out there. I know that we're pretty short at left back. Camavinga was injured right before that game, and you don't really want to have Fran Garcia going against Lamine Yamal. But at the same time, Mendy was out for about a month and a half, and then you throw him out there in a high-intensity game, and then he ends up getting injured. He's now out for the rest of the season. More than likely, he's not going to even be available for the Club World Cup. So that was a big issue that I did have. But I think Carlo, the substitutions that he made, right? Like when he brought on Mbappe, that was a big impact. Arda Güler in that second half was phenomenal as well. So, yeah, I think he did make some good changes. It was super annoying how we lost that game, right? Luka Modric making that hospital pass into the middle of the field. Brahim Diaz kind of not attacking the ball, just more so waiting. Kounde recognizes that this is an opportunity to intercept it. He's going to have some space, takes a shot, scores it. It is what it is, bro. I mean, look, another cup final that you guys beat us in this season. And, again, I'm just waiting for the season to end. If we're able to, obviously beat you guys, what we're going to talk about, then, now we're talking about something completely different. But Barcelona now have the chance to win La Liga on our head tops as well, right? Because effectively, if you beat us on Sunday, it's over. Like, even if I think you drop a point here or there or you drop a game, it's nothing that we can do. Yeah. So I'm not trying to see Barcelona in 4 straight El Clasicos get the dub. But, I mean, the Copa del Rey, look, you guys were the better team in terms of style of play for a large part of it. Second half, I think that we looked better than you. We looked more aggressive. We had you guys on the back burner. But yeah, at the end of the day, just not good enough. Not able to get over the line. Super jarring. But, there's things to take away from it, though, for a positive.
Yeah. From my perspective as a Barca fan, very even final, as we both said on the preview as well, that this would be a close game compared to the first 2 Clásicos this season, and that it was 1 goal margin, what we both had it as, and that's what it was. I think that Barcelona absolutely killed it in the first half. Pure and utter domination. I think I remember when I was watching the game and doing my reviews and stuff afterwards that in that first half, I think Madrid entered our final third like 3 times, and twice of them they were offside. Second half, like you mentioned, I think from the 45th minute until about the 75th minute, until actually probably Tchouaméni scored the goal, pure domination for Madrid. That's probably the best I've seen Madrid this season, let alone in that game, definitely against Barcelona this season as well. It was...
and we took our foot off the gas after Tchouaméni scored. If we would have kept applying that pressure, I think that we could have won that in regular time. But, like, Tchouaméni scored, and then we were just like, all right, let's just defend. And it's like, bro, you can't just do that against Barcelona. They're going to bring
Yeah, to be fair, I think at 2-1, I thought you were going to win. I think the only reason why we got back from the game was a Courtois mistake and then a Lamine Yamal beautiful pass. I think if Courtois stays in his net, I don't think Ferran Torres scores that. And of course,
misread that.
For sure. So I think Barcelona had a little bit of luck on their side in that game. I think over the course of the 120 minutes, we did deserve to win. We were the better side, but definitely in the second half, you were on top and you were 2-1 up. The free kick as well was, tactical by Frankie. In the end, Mbappe scored it, the header. It's kind of obvious. It's kind of ironic that Kounde was one that lost Tchouaméni. Both by the way, are huge best friends off the pitch. And then he gets the winner. But, of course, very happy that Barcelona did, of course, win the Copa del Rey. Now, since then, of course, Barcelona, I believe, have played 2 or 3 games. You've only played 1. Talk to me about Madrid's form going to this game. I know it's kind of hard to reflect since you've only played 1 game since the final. But talk to me about that Celta game, how it went, and how Madrid are looking heading into this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, against Celta Vigo, another game where it starts off so well, right? We go up, it's looking beautiful. You know, Arda Güler's cooking. Mbappe got a brace. And I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? We actually look decent. And then, for the second time this season, at our ground, the capitulation late at the end. Oh my days, bro. This is like when we played them in Copa del Rey. We're up 2-0. It is 10 minutes left. And then we let them get back into it. Similar thing almost happened in this game. It was super jarring just to kind of see some of the substitutions that Carlo made, right? Like, for example, Tchouaméni, he was already on a yellow. Well, he wasn't on a yellow, but he was one more yellow away to where he would have had to miss El Clasico, right? Now, you know how short that we are defensively.
Yeah.
And instead of taking off Tchouaméni, this guy takes off Raul Asensio and he puts on Jacobo Ramen, right? Jacobo Ramen from our academy, this guy is the scrub. Let me tell you something right now, brother. It's something about these tall, curly-headed Spanish defenders, right? We're losing Vallejo, but we've replaced him with Jacobo Ramen. Like, this guy is a scrub. He comes on the pitch. We immediately concede twice. You know, it's looking shaky. We're holding on for dear life.
What happened, man? I thought Madrid had the best academy in the world. Things change, or what's going on?
I mean, look, like the academy is definitely the most successful, right? You know, we make a lot of money from it. We produce a lot of first-team players, right? As you saw, Hakimi getting man of the match against Arsenal, right? Madrid, born and bred. Anyways, that's not the point, right? Point is, I think Carlo's subs were a little bit weird that game, but in terms of form, like, yes, the form, the first half, it looked good, right? We got 2 goals. Arda Güler is definitely somebody that I think has forced his way into the starting 11. I think that Rodrigo is going to probably have to hold bench. But, yeah, I mean, it's just mid. It's like, it's okay for him. It's nothing to, you know, really talk about too much, right? We've won 1 game, and then before that, we lost against Barca and Copa del Rey. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like a string of good performances to really come into this game with. So, you know, form-wise.
Very quickly on that Celtic game, what caused Madrid to, you know, concede those 2 goals very quickly? Was it the subs by Carlo? Was it the experience that you had in the team? Was the team kind of being relaxed for 3-0 up at the Bernabeu cruising? What was it, do you think, from a fan perspective, that caused that kind of, you know, 2-goal conceding? Then, wake the hell up, cannot drop points at this stage. And then, you know, getting very lucky, of course. They couldn't have equalized it. The ball kind of rolled in your favor a little bit. But just very quickly, what do you think was the key deciding factor?
Yeah, I mean, I think taking off Asensio, just to be very honest, like, I'm not going to necessarily just blame Jacobo Ramen for both of the goals, right? But when he came on, we automatically just looked like shakier at the back. Like, one of the goals that they scored, I'm forgetting if it was the first or second one, but like, he steps up, like he comes out, and then, like, he gambles a bit, leaves a bunch of space, and then they're able to get in, and then they score. And it's like, brother, just hold the line with Tchouaméni. Like, there's no reason for you to step up like this. I also think that Carlo taking off Arda Güler, and I know that by the time that happened, I believe they already had their 2 goals. But the fact that he took off Arda and you brought on Brahim, when Arda was our best attacker, right? Arda, I know that Mbappe had a brace, but Arda was better than Mbappe. Arda was better than Vinicius. Arda was better than Jude. But yet, you take him off to then bring on Brahim, right? So, I mean, there's a couple things I just think were a bit weird, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, Celta Vigo at home, we always end up getting at least a 2-goal margin, but then we gotta let them get back into it. I guess to make it more interesting or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I hear that. I guess it happens sometimes. But in terms of Barcelona's form, of course, we played 3 games since the Copa del Rey, 2 Champions League semifinals, and a league game. Of course, we got knocked out the Champions League final, 7-6 on aggregate. We've scored a lot of goals, but we're conceding a hell of a lot of goals as well. I don't know why you're celebrating. I mean, your best celebration this season is us getting knocked out of the Champions League.
Hey, look, bro. You know what it is?
I'm a
shameless man. Look. I'm gonna be a little bit shameless. As long as you guys didn't win that UCL, you know what I'm saying? Now all the treble talk can end, the quad and these different things. You guys can possibly still win a treble, but it's not gonna be the treble, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the big airs, it just keeps eluding you, bro. So you know, I was definitely happy to see Inter knock you guys out.
For sure. I felt the same way when Arsenal knocked you out at 5-1, especially as well when you couldn't compete. But yeah, we had the weekend game against Valladolid, which we kind of scraped by a little bit, need the big boys to come off the bench. But we're scoring goals, we're conceding a bit. I don't think we've kept the clean sheet since, I think, 1-0 against Mallorca, which was, I think, our only clean sheet since the beginning of April. So the defense has been quite shaky, but then again, we're and a lot of killer elimination games. I don't think Madrid kept a clean sheet in a while as well when I was looking at the recent games because he against
we kept
us.
a clean sheet. We kept 2 clean sheets before Copa del Rey, I believe. We kept a clean sheet against Bilbao
And Alaves, both 1-0.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. But the confidence in the team is still pretty good, which I want to talk about next. Was kind of the perspective of both teams going into it. Of course, with Barcelona being at home and top of the table, things are looking good for us. We can still lose this game and still probably go on and win the league. Just makes it way more harder for us. We can kill both of our seasons at this point.
Your end of schedule is
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for sure. But for Barcelona, I think the feeling right now is just to end the season off on a high. I know we just got eliminated midweek in the Champions League. We competed. It's not like a bottling or capitulation like it has been over the past 10 years. It was well competed against a very, very hard team. Away at San Siro as well, which is a city we've struggled in quite a bit. But the ambition, of course, of La Liga has been there since the beginning. La Liga is, of course, judged over the course of a whole entire season, not by moments and luck like the Champions League. And it is a competition that Barcelona do respect quite a lot. And what has been instilled in the sporting project is to, of course, win a lot of league titles. And then, of course, if you can do something in the Champions League, that's always going to be a bonus. We're kind of remembered to do the opposite and their kind of philosophy. So I think the confidence is quite strong, even from the players after they kind of sent their message out after the elimination of the Champions League. It's all like, oh, we're sad, but full focus on this weekend to end the season on a high to complete our objective. Like you said, it's not the trouble, but a trouble, which is what you did last season as well. So you of course take Spanish dominance, and of course, like you mentioned earlier on, we want to of course win all Clásicos. Of course, last season you beat us 3 out of 3. Because we had the Spanish Super Cup final 2 league games, and we want to do 4 out of 4 this season. So we'll see. But I think the confidence is quite good, especially being at the most week as well.
It should.
We got
for you guys.
Yeah.
Should be tough. Yeah, like
we're trying to even the Spotify collaboration as well. I think we've gotten 2 out of.
Who is it?
It's Travis Scott. So we got the Cactus Jack on the
Jack.
Yeah.
I saw that those kits sold out in like minutes. Yeah. Did you cop one?
No, I did not. I'm not spending 500 euros on that. I'll
500 euros.
Yeah. I'll cop a fake one for 20 bucks. Number 1 foot, link down below, boys and girls. But
500 bucks.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
We got some rich fans, man. I don't know what, but we'll take that money. Right, shout out Jordan Laporte, the greatest ambassador deal of all time, that is. But we're 2 for 6 we're 2 for 5. Want to at least bring that to 3 to 6, make it even. Which is probably just me saying that. I think maybe some other diehard Barca fans saying that. But what's your perspective? How do you feel? You think there's a chance to get back in the league title race? Of course, even if you win this game, you're still 1 point behind. We'll talk about the schedule after what you say here. But what are your thoughts going into the game from the Madrid side, for the team, how they're looking? Of course, 1 game in almost 2 weeks, whereas Barcelona played 3, so we're a bit more fresh, but you're a bit more rested. But we saw against Celta, maybe the rest doesn't really show too much. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, not that confident, right? Like, let's just be very honest. We don't have a defense. We're going against Barcelona, who are the best scoring team in Europe. You guys create a lot of chances. You're very dangerous in the final third. You're very aggressive. You're very direct. That could be a problem for my back line. Rudiger's out for the season. Ferland Mendy is not here. No Camavinga. Obviously, like, no Militao. No Dani Carvajal. So my back
Alba out as well, correct?
Alaba, yep,
okay.
No Alaba. So my back line is going to be Lucas Vazquez at right back, Asensio, Tchouameni, Fran Garcia. It's not a very good back line. Like, it's not one that I can feel confident about going against a Barcelona team who more than likely are going to be very pissed off about losing against Inter Milan. Now, I'm going to back us to win. I'm always going to back us to win, right? Even when I'm not feeling the most confident. It's El Clasico. Anything could happen, right? I think my players, they've been embarrassed 3 straight times, right? I mean, just to kind of go back to Copa del Rey, like, not embarrassed in terms of scoreline, but it was embarrassing how we acted before the match, right? How we acted after the game, right? With like Rudiger and these guys throwing things at the referee and the suspensions and all these things that have come down. It's just not been good against Barca, right? El Clásicos this season have been nightmare fuel. And with the back line that we have, it doesn't make me feel confident. But I'm going to back my boys, because even if we don't win La Liga, it's just about having pride. Like, this is the biggest game of our season now, right? I mean, obviously, like, there's always going to be the biggest game of the season. But just depending on what the circumstances are, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, this is now Barca's biggest game of the season, because if you slip, you might collapse, then you don't want to miss out on La Liga, right? You guys got knocked out the UCL. So if you guys made the UCL final, then this wouldn't be the biggest game. It'd be another big one.
Yeah.
Same thing for us. This is our biggest game of the season now. It all comes down to this. Our season is effectively over on Sunday if we lose. If you guys lose, right, it's not over. You still would have that 1 point lead. It's still in your hands, right? Whereas we would just need to keep applying that pressure over the last few weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So I feel nervous, but again, I'm just going to back my boys. I'm going to back Carlo, even though I want Carlo out.
This will be his last Clasico.
I would have to believe that Arda Güler is going to start this game.
Yeah.
If Arda Güler starts, I think we could do something.
We'll talk about the lines at the end. What I do want to talk about is, of course, the upcoming matches. Now, if, of course, we do lose, we'll still have a 1 point lead. If we do win, all we need is one win to win the league. Of course, your last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, is Sevilla.
Yeah, so it's Barca, Mallorca, Sevilla,
and then Sociedad
at the end. So our running is not easy either.
To be fair, you do have 2 home, 1 away. We have the opposite, 2 away, 1 at home. Okay. Based on table position, stuff like that, we do have the harder run. Not saying yours is easy by any means. We never know. Mallorca, very, very good team, but at the Bernabeu, especially if you do win and are 1 point behind us, you expect the team to be even more confident. Ramos, Sánchez, Pizjuan, Sevilla used to be a good fortress back in the day, but since they were in that relegation battle in 2021, they've kind of fallen off a cliff. Sociedad, of course, they almost did a number on you in the cup, but that was kind of, a little bit of rotation from both sides. For me, from the Barcelona perspective, I don't know if you knew about me at the beginning of the season, but beginning of the season when the schedule came out, the last game of the season was Athletic Club at the MMS. The MMS away is the most detrimental, dire away game for Barcelona. I fear that stadium much, much more than the Bernabeu. I'd much rather win at the Bernabeu. You ask me to win Bernabeu or MMS, I'll take Bernabeu, of course. But the MMS is the most difficult stadium to go to. Athletic Club are still in the European top 4 race. We saw with their lineup against Manchester United right now as of recording, but yesterday as of uploading, they basically rotated the whole team because now they're focusing on getting a European spot, Champions League spot in La Liga.
You're cooked.
We have to win the league before that game. I've made that very clear. I've said that from the beginning of the season. We have to win the league before that. Of course, if we do, let's say if we draw this game, we beat Espanyol, Villarreal, we should be fine. We win this game, we win another derby, Espanyol, our local derby, we should be fine. It should all be in our position if we just don't lose this game.
Well, you know what it is? So even if we draw, it's over. Like, I'm just letting you know that right now. We have to win. Like, we need 3 points. A draw is not enough. Because even if you draw, let's say you draw, now it's a 3 point gap. And let's say we end on the same point.
No, if it's a draw, it'll still be a 4 point gap. Remember?
4 point gap? How would it still? Yes, because we both get a point.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're right. I wasn't even thinking about the math right there. But point is, anything less than the win, it's over for us. So you have 2 scenarios, right, out of the 3 outcomes that still go in your favor, right?
I low-key kind of hope we draw the game and then we can win the league on our last home game, which is Villarreal. We won the league under Xavi away at Espanyol, our direct rivals. Been there, done that. I'll do it again, sure. Not gonna
celebrations. I remember.
Yeah, not gonna complain, but I'd love to win the league at the Montjuic to end off that shit stadium as well and to move on back to the Camp Nou. But yeah, I think from my perspective, is as long as we don't lose this game, I think the league will be wrapped up. I think again, just if we go into the last game of the season, you have Sociedad at home, we have Athletic Club. Whatever the table is, I am telling you right now for free, whether we have won the league or not, 75% chance we're gonna lose that game. Because I'm expecting if we do win the league, we're gonna rotate. I expect that we have to go out there and win the game. They're gonna go full straight. They turn to prime 80s Ajax against us week in, week out. So it's going to be a huge game. I think Espanyol not that great, but they do get up for a derby, which you do expect. I think we can definitely handle them. Villarreal, good team, fighting for European position. It's not going to be easy, but at home to win the league, I hope that the players can at least get up for it, because don't forget, Villarreal are also fighting for a European spot. Even from your perspective, Mallorca, Sociedad are fighting for European spots. Sevilla are kind of just dead, and for us, Espanyol just trying to survive, which I think they probably already have by now. So
Wait, so question for you, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think that you guys losing against Inter Milan could derail your season, though?
I don't think so, because I think the team Champions League was never an objective, right? Everyone said at the beginning of the season this was a transition year. Every time, even when your players before the Arsenal tie were getting asked about the treble, because you were in for the treble too. I think that time you're only a point behind us in the league. You're in the Copa del Rey final. So with Barcelona, since we've done the treble multiple times, the players always get that question. Even the 18-19 season when we had Messi, when we balled it the last 2 games, it's always going to be perspective. I think the fact that we were in the conversation is no mean feat. We went into this season, I said, just win a trophy, compete for the league, quarterfinal Champions League, I'd be happy. And we have over-exceeded beyond belief. The team knows that.
But you don't think that expectations changed throughout the season? I feel like with the way that you guys were going, the expectations had to be to win that championship.
I think the expectation was
how the season was going.
I think the expectation was really from the Barcelona fans, if I'm being honest, was just don't bottle it and just try 1,000%. I think that's what the team did. That if we went to San Siro, we lost 4-0. Let's say we didn't score the 3 goals, we lost 4-0. Definitely be going to this game shitting myself like, oh my god, the team's on an absolute low. They competed, they came back in the game, they were a few minutes away from the final. I just think that maybe next season it'll be different. Like, okay, last season you got to semifinals. Next season I'm expecting you, lock in and win this thing, right? It's time. We've not won it for a long time, sure. But this season it's a bit of a different perspective. We've done so well in Spain. We've done so well through the campaign. I think Raphinha will probably still win the UEFA Champions League best player of the tournament, regardless. So all these things are accolades and evidence that we did overachieve in that. And I think the team knows that. Look, they tried their best. Yes, they were one step away from it, but it's time not to at least get this treble locked in the Spanish treble, domestic treble, and to put Madrid one step down. Remember what Lamine Yamal said after the game and the Copa del Rey? This year just feels like Madrid cannot beat us no matter what. It's time to put that quote to the real test, especially with the game being at home as well. So I don't think it'll derail us too much. I think hell, it could probably give us even a bit more motivation, because over the past few years, when you lose 5-3 to PSG and bottling fashion in one game, you get knocked out at Anfield, Rome, 8-2 Bayern, in the group stages. These are all historic capitulations. You didn't just lose the game, you lost in the worst fashion possible. We lost this game giving 200%.
Nah, fair enough.
So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, I mean, I definitely do agree with that. I was just thinking, maybe the Barca players are feeling a little bit down right now.
Well, what I found funny is that for the Copa del Rey final, you came out saying that, oh, this is our time for redemption, put Barcelona in their place, derail their treble charge, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm seeing after the Inter game, Madrid media saying now the same thing. Oh, they're on the downturn. The Madrid dressing room is confident they could catch Barcelona on the low. It's just
remontada, they said. Remontada.
Exactly. So all these things, even like I told you last season, I felt the same way you felt. You had a troubling period before the Bernabeu Clasico, where Bellingham scored in the last second to win it. We were clawing back in the,
And I said he scored the winner in
both. Yeah. But that one we were clawing back in. I think you dropped a point recently. You haven't, of course, lost that whole season except for in the early September.
Yeah, to Madrid, to Elodie.
Yeah. So at that time you were just drawing a few games back to back, and we were crawling back into it. I think we were 5 points behind. So we're like, okay, win this. It's anyone's, and then you won it. So it's kind of the same perspective. That's exactly what I said to you in the Copa del Rey preview as well. So it's just, you just feel like that this season, it's just hard for Madrid to get over the line, especially like you mentioned with a very, very weak team. We'll talk about the lineups now. I think what I forgot to mention at the beginning in the Copa del Rey kind of talk, I thought Araujo in that Copa del Rey when he came on the second half was fantastic. I think he was the game changer. I also mentioned this in my videos as well. I think Carlo Ancelotti, apart from picking Fernando Mendy at left back to begin the game, maybe Vasquez at right back as well, I thought he coached, selected the team to perfection. He impacted the game with his substitutions. Yes, Modric gave the ball away to Brahim Diaz. They were both subs. That's kind of just a player error. But I think from a major perspective, he coached the game so well, and it still wasn't enough against maybe a Barca team that weren't really locked in that second half. But how would you see the lineup for Madrid in this game very, very quickly?
Yeah, so it'd have to be a 4-4-2. I'm saying Courtois would have to be in goal.
Yeah.
We talked about the back line earlier, right? Lucas Vasquez at right back, because we need Valverde in the midfield. And I actually think that Vasquez, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he was actually that bad in Copa del Rey.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't. I mean,
I feel like
Jordan Martin did get the better of him at some stage in that first half, but I wouldn't say he was terrible. He was just kind of his average self.
yeah, like in terms of like, but you know how like he's viewed as such like a liability.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say like I don't believe he was like a huge liability in that game. I feel like he did a pretty good job like handling Raphinha as well, who I thought was pretty mid in that game. But anyways,
Yeah.
Vasquez, I'd say at right back, Tchouaméni Asensio as a center back pairing, Fran Garcia would have to be at left back. And I think in the midfield, right? I think that we'll see Jude left mid. I think it will be Ceballos and not Modric. Sorry, Ceballos and Valverde at center mid, and then right mid it'd have to be Arda. Then up top, Vinicius and Mbappe. I don't think that Rodrigo starts this game.
I do agree with you for sure, but is there no doubt about potentially seeing Valverde at right back and then maybe Modric in the midfield to replace him? I was kind of looking at how Madrid would line up, and I think that would be the best way going forward. I understand there's no defensive recoveries in that midfield of Ceballos and Modric, but since you guys are 4 points behind us, you kind of had to go for it. You think that could be an option? Maybe as a fan, would you rather go for that, or would you be a bit more conservative and go for Vasquez?
No, yeah, you have to be more conservative because the thing is, we're not going to outplay Barcelona. I feel like that's why we've got destroyed in 2 of the El Clasicos this season, the 4-0 at the Bernabeu.
But you look so strong in that second half with Valverde at right back. I was so worried, especially him coming up against Jordan Martin as well.
So, okay, but then that's where we just talked about Carlos, so he'd have to make those in-game adjustments depending on how it's going. But I don't think starting 40-year-old Luka Modric against a high-pressing Barca team that's going to have most of the ball, we're going to be chasing them. I don't really think this is a game for Now, Modric can come on in the second half, right, make an impact like that, but we cannot attack Barcelona. We have to soak up pressure, and then we have to hit them on the counter, right? Like, again,
what about
Barcelona are not a hard team to beat. The thing is, right, is like it's so simple, bro. Like they play the high line, they press up the pitch. We have the players to counter them. It's just what is Carlos' game plan gonna be? We know that tactically he's not the best, so I have no idea what he's gonna do. But I think you have to start off the game reserved, right? You cannot go out there and just go all attacking against Barca because you guys will kill us. You're better than us on the ball. Lamine Yamal is on good form right now. He was cooking against like Inter. Lewandowski's back as well. You're gonna have Alejandro Balde, who I saw is gonna be fit for this game. We got to be a little bit reserved to start out. Then you get a feel for the game, and then in-game manage, and then you maybe attack, make some adjustments. Maybe you invert Vasquez. You have Valverde then drop deep. Who knows? That's Carlos' job to figure out, bro. But I don't want to see Modric because having Modric means that we're going to try and dominate possession. We're not going to be able to do that against Barca, realistically.
What about maybe having Güler play a bit deeper in kind of that 8 role and then Brahim out wide? So midfield 3 of Ceballos.
Brahim doesn't deserve to start. No, that Copa del Rey performance from Brahim.
Or you could put Rodrigo out wide if you wanted to.
Brahim's cameo. No, so Rodrigo should not start.
But I'm just trying to find solutions to put Valverde at right back. That's all.
No. See, the thing is, we need Valverde in that midfield for the physicality as well. Because Pedri, we're gonna need people to be on him to press him so he gets the ball. I think that Ceballos, Valverde, it's a good balance. In terms of kind of forget where I was going now. Shit, but sorry
about that.
Nah, it's all good, bro. Just in terms of like style of play, right? You guys are gonna look like the better team. I think it'd just be a mistake to have Modric out there chasing your midfielders. It just wouldn't really make too much sense. But one positive that I would say from you guys embarrassing us this season and from you guys looking so dominant, and you guys have been the better team just throughout the season. Like even if we beat you, even if somehow, some way we win La Liga because you guys might capitulate, we got to be honest. Barcelona have been the better team this season. Just on all fronts. But a positive for us is that I think that because of how good you guys have been and because of the lack of El Clasico wins, we are going to respond in the summer. So that I think that's one positive way to look at it.
What I tell you recently, I said that Madrid got no money. All I'm seeing is free agent this, free agent that. I mean, maybe we'll do some stuff in the summer, but I'm telling you, man.
Before the Club World Cup.
Hey, I saw Fabricio Romano tweeted that United, Liverpool, and Chelsea, the 3 main clubs in for him right now. I didn't see no Madrid. I'm just saying. I just said Madrid don't got money.
Have you seen the news over the last maybe 10, 15 hours?
About what?
No, that Madrid are prioritizing a move for Dean Huijsen and that we want at least 2 additional players. So Trent and him to be in the squad for the Club World Cup.
Fair. We'll see. I'm just
gotta respond. That's the only positive.
We'll see. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's right.
If we would have scumbagged our way throughout this season, right? Let's say we would have stunk out some wins. Let's say we would have won Spanish Super Cup, won Copa del Rey. There'd be no changes. Carlo would have stayed, right? They'd have been like, oh, Trent, we add him. That's it. That's all that we need. And then we'd be having this conversation about us getting dominated next season. So it's a little underlying positive, even though I'm a little bit annoyed at how things played out.
We'll see. I still have a sneaky suspicion that Madrid ain't got that much money. But in regards to Barcelona's lineup, I don't think much will change from the Inter game. Maybe Lewandowski coming in for Ferran, that's it. Balde will not be fit enough to start. I think if he was going to start this game, he would have started against Inter. It's quite clear that Barcelona don't want him to suffer any sort of relapse. Again, keep in mind, I think I'll mention this super quickly. One big factor for next season, of course, will be the Club World Cup. How much less rest you will get compared to Barcelona, who are not in it. We had the full summer off. Regular preseason, you'll have only 2 weeks off, and then you're right back into it. Of course, some of your international players as well are going to be playing in the Nations League, the Spanish players, the French players as well, so that could be a key component. But yeah, for our lineup, I see maybe Lewandowski for Ferran, that being the only change. I think that Barcelona's game plan would be to go all out in the next 2 games, win the league, then just rest for the rest of the season. We do have players coming back like Kounde and Casado in the next week or so, but at this point, they're probably not really included in the starting plans. They'll probably just be there for celebrations if we do end up winning the league. But yeah, Gerard Martin being at fullback will be an issue. Maybe we'll see. We could maybe see Araujo start. But after his 2 mistakes, I don't think the fans really want to see him start. We could maybe see Christensen.
I think that you guys sell him in the summer. I don't think he has a place.
I think the only way we sell him is if an offer comes in. I don't think we will purposely go out there and push for him to leave and like offer him on the market. I think if an offer comes in, we're like, yo, Araujo, adios, buddy. That's what we'll probably do.
There was interest in January before he signed the new deal, I believe. Like
there was. I think, right? The offer wasn't that great. It was 50 million. I think the club probably values him, and I probably value him as well at like 60, 70. So I think the offer was good.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, but maybe 50 million now, I think everyone would probably take it. Don't see Gavi or Fermin starting, or anyone else in the attack. So I think it's going to be pretty unchanged from Barcelona against from the Inter lineup. But finally, just to end off, of course, it's going to be prediction. Again, you can give your score or not, but how do you see this game going?
Yeah, so Barcelona are going to dominate the ball. Barcelona are going to look like the more dangerous team. Barcelona are going to look more threatening. Lamine Yamal is going to be doing what he does. Raphinha, that fake Brazilian, right? The Bolivian Dan James on the left wing, going to be doing what he usually does, and that's nothing. Except for like maybe a lucky goal here and there. But nah, I'm just fucking with you, bro. Nah,
he's been sneaking the basketball, man. He saw half of Gazy's G's and A's. He's been kind of meaty the past month, but I mean,
yeah. Nah, I mean, look. To be honest, you guys are gonna look better. We're gonna have to be compact. We're gonna have to hit you on the counter. Like this is what we have Mbappe and Vinicius for, arguably 2 of the fastest players. These guys need to take notes on that offside trap, right? You saw how Inter were able to time their runs. I mean, even though they had a couple of offsides as well, because you guys are just super good at it. But we got to learn how to time those runs a lot better. And I feel like, we should be able to nick something here in terms of a win. I'm going to predict. I'm going to be honest. I think it'll be like a 4-2, 4-2, 4-3. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah. It's going to be, brother, our defense is going to have to, we only win if it's a shootout.
No, I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised you're scoring 4. I can see you scoring 2, 3. 4 is a bit too heavy. We don't really concede. 4. I see his bro. He's very, very motivated, especially because, like you said, Carlos' last El Clasico. It's like, does he want to end it? Does he want to end his Madrid tenure with losing all 4 El Clasicos in one season? I think the players are going to be motivated. They know. I mean, Valverde came out and said that the full focus is on El Clasico because we can still win the league. Yeah. Like, they know that we can still. And again, even though you guys have been better than us, they know that we could, possibly come back to the league. I'm fine because this is exactly what the players said before the Copa del Rey final. But my prediction is gonna be a draw. I think since this will be a game where we can end the game 90 minutes a draw, it will be. Camp Nou, or should I say Barcelona home Clasicos, in my lifetime, in my 16 years of watching, 7 times out of 10 end in a draw. I don't know why, but that's usually the case. I do want to remind you, by the way, the plan, I don't know if it hasn't changed according to reports of what I've been hearing, but the plan, of course, is to present not only Pedri's Player of the Month award before the game of April, but also the Copa del Rey trophy, which, of course, we always present, the trophy that you win in your next home game. We've not had a home game since the Spanish home game, should I say, sorry, since the Copa del Rey final. We had, of course, the Inter game, but we're going to do presenting a Copa del Rey in a European night doesn't make sense. So the plan is to present the trophy. Whether Madrid give us a guard of honor or not remains to be seen. They should, but they probably won't.
They should not.
I mean, like,
they should not.
I mean, like, they have to like they should is what I mean, but they probably won't, because we tend to do it and you tend to never do it because we're classy and you're not, which is kind of
okay. Look.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a good loser?
Hey man, I agree with it. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
They should be out there though. They should be out there. They should be watching the presentation. They should see the trophy that they could have won.
See, I don't know if they should do it or not, because if you do it, will you motivate them even more? Will you give them that extra edge? That's the thing, right? Because you should. Even when we did the Super Cup as well, we did it in the next Spanish game. So we should. I think we probably will, because we just have a lot of
your fans, like, let's be honest, like, that's just, regardless of if that's the tradition or not, right? Like, that's just great shit out street. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but like even
it's not really tradition, but it's just what you do. Even when you won the Intercontinental Cup and the Super Cup, you present it at your next home game, right? That's just what you do.
No. You should 100% present it. Whether that gives us extra motivation or not. Like, if that's gonna give us extra motivation and not the fact that we could possibly maybe still come back and win the league, then these players are frauds anyways.
Fair.
Whether you present that or not, I think that Barcelona should present it. I think the players should be out there and watch you guys, whatever you do with the trophy and that.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in, and I've never been a fan of Guard of Honors. I've never. Even if we win La Liga, I don't like, for me, I don't ever think that Barca should be giving us a guard of honor. I don't think that Atleti should be giving us a guard of honor. Like, I feel like that's just like nonsense. That's
fair. I like it because it's just a sign of respect. But I know I can see, like, you've never done it to us that I remember in my lifetime. I've seen us give it to you twice. So, you know, I remember one. I remember the 17-18. Remember, I don't know if you remember this game, the 2-2 at the Camp Nou, where Suarez fouled Varane and scored. I think Ronaldo and Bale scored. Suarez scored very early on. Roberto got sent off. That game we've already won the league. And you're supposed to give us guard of honor, but you didn't. But I mean, I'm not too bothered about it. It's a Copa del Rey guard of honor. If they give us the league title, I'd be much more adamant that you should. But Copa del Rey is like whatever. You kind of already gave us one going up to collect the medals anyways. But that could be a fact. I just wanted to bring that up. But I do see it being a draw. I see it not as high scoring as you say. I think the maximum goals I can see a team scoring here is 3. I don't see anyone touching forward, whether it be Barcelona or us. I see, you know, maybe like a 2-1 to Madrid, 3-2 to Barca, but I probably see a 1-1, 2-2 draw as the most likely outcome. I think Barcelona would take a draw as well. You win the league before the summer ends. You win the league at home against Villarreal as well, which is nice, you know, to win the league at home rather than winning it away. But I do see a draw. And again, from my perspective as a fan, just don't lose the game. I'm absolutely 100% happy camper. If we draw this game 5-5, or if we were up 5-0, we drew the game 5-5, I still be like, you know what, it's a draw. We'll take it. League's still in our hands, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, so the reason why I said 4 is just because I can't see us winning this game and it's low scoring. That's just.
I think the only way, I forgot to actually mention, I think the only way you win this game, based on my perspective of what we've seen this season, is if, you know, like you mentioned, you nick it, counter attack, you get us on the break. Maybe we're going. That's kind of how we conceded the equalizer for Inter as well, where we can't really manage our philosophy. You know, we're 2-1 up, and it's like a few minutes ago. Just hold it tight, keep it compact. Yeah. Don't still be going for it, stuff like that. So I can definitely see Madrid, you know, getting goals. A perfect example of that is, of course, the Super Cup goal they scored with Mbappe. If you think about it, right, the 4 goals you've scored against us this season, 3 of them have been set pieces. So as long as we stay tight on set pieces, there won't be too much of a threat. I feel for Madrid, the only threat I can see is, again, like we saw the first Super Cup goal, ball in behind from Mbappe, nice individual burst from him. I didn't even trust Balde in a 1v1 in that scenario. And again, at home, the results in Clasicos don't really favor Barcelona too much. So I think a draw is a super likely outcome. Anything you want to finally add before we end off here?
Hala Madrid!
We'll see if it's Hala Madrid, or they're going to be holding 4 pieces and 3 trophies this season. But that's going to be the end of the preview. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. If you did, of course, drop a like down below. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. And of course, check out Football Carnage. His link is in the description and also in the title as well, for all your Madrid content. And we will, of course, see you guys tomorrow for the official full match preview, and on Sunday for the game as well. But until then, take care and Forza Barca.